The signal hits Cael like a hand pressed flat against his skull. He jolts upright in the narrow cot, gasping, storm-gray eyes wide in the dark. The bunker around him is silent, concrete walls, recycled air humming through cracked vents. The other cots hold sleeping shapes, Jun curled around his datapad. Myril flat on her back like she's already in a coffin. Sara tangled in her blanket with one boot still on. But the signal, it's not sound, it's not light. It's a frequency that lives somewhere behind his eyes, drilling through the static of sleep into something deeper. Something old. Cael presses his palm against the cold wall. The vibration is there too. Thrumming up through the foundation of the abandoned spire they've been hiding in for 11 days. Then the voice comes, not a voice, a presence. Vast and luminous and ancient, flooding into his mind like wind through a shattered window. They have found you, young fire. The Empire's eyes are already turning. The dragon. Vaileth, and she is afraid. Cael is on his feet before the thought fully forms. He shakes Jun first because Jun can kill the signal trace, and Jun because Jun doesn't panic. We're lit up, Cael whispers. Vaileth says they've locked our position. Jun blinks once behind his cracked lenses, then rolls off the cot and opens his datapad in a single motion. His fingers move like they're playing a silent instrument. Imperial sweep band. Narrow pulse, they're not broadcasting, they're listening. He looks up. We've got maybe 12 minutes before a sentinel drone confirms the bounce. Across the bunker, Myril is already awake, pulling her jacket on with the calm of someone who has rehearsed catastrophe. Then we move now. The eastern corridor connects to the old rail tunnels. From there we can reach the ridge. The ridge is open sky, Sara says from somewhere in her blanket, voice sharp despite the hour. Open sky means Imperial flight lines. Open sky, Cael says quietly, also means dragons. Somewhere far above the city spire. Past the haze of surveillance drones and the cold orbital ruins that ring the planet like a crown of dead teeth. Sovereign Malrek's network processes 9 billion data points per second. It does not sleep, it does not forget. Every heartbeat in every settlement feeds its hunger, living energy siphoned so gradually that most citizens believe their exhaustion is simply the cost of being alive. Tonight, one anomalous signal in a derelict spire has crossed a threshold, and a flag has been raised. They move through the corridor in near darkness, Cael at the front, Lyra falling into step beside him without a word. She always does that, appears at his shoulder like she was already there. Like the space next to him, belongs to her by some unspoken physics. You heard it too, he says, not a question. I felt it. Lyra's silver-dark hair catches the faint bioluminescence of the tunnel moss. Her jaw is set, her eyes scanning every shadow, but her voice drops to something quieter. When I was 9, my mother used to pick up stray transmissions on the apartment's heating coil. Imperial orders. Troop movements. She'd write them down in a language I didn't recognize. A pause. 3 weeks later they took her, and I never found those papers. Cael looks at her. In the green half-light she looks like something carved from the spire itself, sharp and enduring and refusing to break. We'll find out what she knew, he says. Don't make promises you can't calculate, Lyra answers, but her hand brushes his wrist as they walk. Just barely, just enough. Neither of them says the rest. There are words stacking up between them like signal echoes, with nowhere to land. But the tunnel is dark and the Empire is close, and for now that brief touch carries everything. The ridge opens above them like a wound in the city. Cael feels the wind first, real wind, not recycled, carrying the metallic bite of the upper atmosphere and something else. Something electric and alive. He spreads his arms without thinking, and the raw cosmic energy that lives inside his chest responds. It pulses, it aches, it wants out. Hold, young fire. Valeth's presence fills his mind again, warmer now, enormous. I am coming. She breaks through the cloud layer like a falling star in reverse. Valeth is 90 meters, of luminous bronze and deep violet. Her scales shifting color with every beat of her cathedral-wide wings. The air around her shimmers with heat and old magic. She is not beautiful the way a sunset is beautiful. She is beautiful the way a storm is beautiful, with the understanding that beauty and destruction share a border. Behind her, 2 more dragons descend. Koreth, obsidian black and silent, whose thoughts arrive like stones dropping into still water. And Ilesi, pale gold and quick-minded, already broadcasting tactical data to Jun's datapad in streams of light. Mount up, Myril shouts, and they run. Cael pulls himself onto Valeth's neck ridge, and Lyra swings up behind him. Her arms lock around his waist. He feels her heartbeat against his spine, fast and steady. Then the sentinel drones crest the far towers, a swarm of silver needles, red targeting beams already painting the ridge. Now we fly, Valeth says, and the world drops away. She dives off the ridge and into the chasm between spires, wings folded, plummeting through a canyon of glass and steel, and flickering imperial billboards. Cael's stomach inverts. The drones follow, firing in tight bursts that shatter windows and send cascades of glass spiraling into the dark below. Jun, mounted on Ilesi, is shouting coordinates. Sara, clinging to Koreth, is laughing, actually laughing, as the black dragon corkscrews through a ruined sky bridge and sends 3 drones smashing into the structure behind him. Cael raises one hand. The cosmic energy surges through his fingers, white-hot and wild, and he sends a shockwave backward that scatters the nearest drones like sparks from a hammer strike. But more are coming. There are always more. They clear the city edge and break into open dark. The drones fall back at the boundary. Their patrol range ends where the wasteland begins. For now, Valeth banks toward the distant mountain line, and in the sudden quiet, her voice fills Cael's mind again. But this time it's different. There's a weight behind it, a reluctance. There is something I have not told you, something I was not permitted to share until the signal woke. Cael's hands tighten on the neck ridge. Permitted by who? By myself. By the memory I buried 300 years ago. A long telepathic silence, heavy with images, a city that no longer exists. A sky without orbital ruins. A boy with storm-gray eyes who is not Cael, but looks exactly like him. You are not the first of your bloodline to carry this power. The last one stood against Malrek when Malrek was still mortal. And Malrek killed him, and took something from his body that should never have been taken. Behind him, Lyra's arms tighten. What did he take? Cael whispers the source. The living heart of cosmic fire, and he has been feeding on it ever since. The mountain line grows closer. The others are silent on their dragons, catching their breath, recalibrating. But Cael can't stop seeing it, that flash from Valeth's memory. A boy who looked like him, standing in a city of light, reaching toward something bright and infinite before the dark swallowed him whole. His ancestor, his blood, the reason Malrek is immortal. And the reason Malrek will never stop hunting him. Jun's datapad chirps. He reads the display, and even from 50 meters away on Ilesi's back. Cael can see his friend's face go pale in the screen's glow. Cael, Jun's voice carries on the wind, stripped of every joke he's ever told. That signal we intercepted, it wasn't a sweep, it was a summons. Malrek didn't send drones to find you. He looks up, he sent them to herd you. Toward the mountains, toward whatever's waiting there. Valeth's wings falter for one beat. Ahead, the peaks loom black against a sky full of dead stations and cold stars. And somewhere in that darkness, something ancient is waiting. If you want to fly into those mountains with us, subscribe to Cosmic Casefile. Because this war is just getting started.